Many things got changed between the dev and the live server, and with today's update we can take a look on 10 things that got changed from the dev or added from the dev. Hello guys, once again it's Matt. Thank you all the members and patrons. Make sure to subscribe and let's get into it. So the first thing that wasn't in the dev is a better version of the APG63 equipped in the F15A, J, and the original bus. Okay, so the older F15. As you know, these older APG63s, they do not have a TWS mode, but Gaijin actually added the PSP mode of those radars, which actually translated to a programmable processor, right? And it means that it could actually be upgraded with software, with modes and stuff. One of the modes that they actually added is this thing, the RAM system. This is actually a TWS basically, right? But at the same time, it isn't. It is kind of crazy. You have to actually lock the target, and then you're gonna change the mode of the radar. You know, so just like the button that you use to change between all the modes here, high PRF, low PRF, etc, etc, you have, after you lock, if you click the same button, the PD RAM. This will have a locked position on the sense of, you know, the size and range and everything like that. The size in the sense of the, you know, overall width of the scan zone will be basically locked, so you cannot use any type of mode. So it's not a full TWS mode, but it works in the same way. You can maintain a soft lock while actually scanning for more targets that are close by there. So it is pretty interesting. You cannot change the range as well and stuff, but it is very, very interesting to see these older F-15s with this. So in the dev, the Mirage D, the 2000D, actually had a MAWS, a missile approach warning system, but now not only the D variant has it, but the 2000-5 and also the 2000 CS5. The CS4 does not have it, but yes, these things will allow you to actually know if a missile is being shot at you. They were adding these systems from our aircraft, of course, with the J11A, for example, and the F-16AM. But now the Mirage 2000-5, the Mirage 2000D, and the CS5 all have a MAWS system. Another one is that the Q5L actually has countermeasures now. It's something that they did not add to this aircraft a while back, but now it actually has these new type of countermeasures. The flares and chaff separately dropped if you want to. It's not a lot, it's like 15 or something, but it's still usable, which is pretty cool. Many aircraft in the game actually got larger countermeasures. So as you see, for example, the F4s got large caliber countermeasures now. If you actually go to a test flight, you can even choose between the two of them. With the larger one, you can use, for example, more of the larger one, and then like more divided here, for example, or anything that you want here. So it is pretty cool. Many aircraft got this. So the Mirage 3, for example, large countermeasures, the 3E, right? Of course, it's divided between large and the normal ones. Normally, this would mean that, for example, in this Mirage, for example, in real life, normally, I think, what it means is that they will use the large flares and then just a whole bunch of chaff over here, because chaff, I think it's smaller. I think, you know, so it would be kind of a similar loadout to that. But many aircraft got it, the Mirage F1s, the Mirage 3s, the F4s, again, as I said, even the F5s, you know, so as you see over here, now they have 10 large countermeasures and 30 normal ones. The F20, so very interesting to see this. Now multipath got changed to 60 meters instead of 100 or 50. So if a target is flying lower than 60 meters, it means that the radar missiles will go to the ground. If it's flying above 60 meters, it means that the target will be hit. It's a little bit different from what it was on the dev, so make sure to mind that when you fire your missiles. Now there is a new mode for you actually selecting your weapons. There is a button that you can click. For me, for example, I changed, okay, but it is basically called, let me just find it for you guys to actually, where is it? here, visual weapon selector. You can go there and change it up, and if you click that, these open up. You can change by just selecting the weapon that you want. You can change it up looking at the specs of the missile and stuff, how many you're using. You can change if you're gonna fire a chaff, flare, or bow, for example. Now I want to use this, for example. If I click again, I can choose this, and with this I'm choosing the weapon systems. Is it like usable? I don't know. I don't like it because sometimes you need to change between a radar and IR missile very quickly, the chaffs and stuff as well. So I guess it does help a little bit, but for showcasing than just testing, because for actual gameplay it might not be fast enough to actually just change it up like this. But it is an interesting thing. I already showed that in another video, but there are new skins for basically almost every aircraft, you know. So yeah, we have for the F-15, we have for the Su-27, for the F-4. We have multiple new skins that were not added when the actual patch was in its dev phase, right? So now it's a little bit more realistic, a little bit, because you can have some skins on it, or just more ready. The game is basically ready, right? So yeah, you have multiple skins. Go out there and test it out your own skins, because there's so many of them, and I'm gonna show every single one of them. There is a limitation on how many missiles were there. This was already added, but it wasn't really ready in the dev. But basically, depending on the aircraft, but normally Fox 3 launchers, it will have a limitation on how many missiles it can actually fire at once, maintaining the guidance via INS before they go active via the data link, right? So, for example, the Su-27SM has a data link target number 2 down there, right? It means that it can actually track 2 targets and update the missiles in 2 targets. If you fire a third missile, the first one that you shot will lose its data link connection, and it will just fly with inertial navigation and then with its active radar homing. Of course, if you actually get the radar of the missile itself to get on, you know, in the range and stuff, it doesn't matter. It's just while it's not using its active radar homing seeker, okay? Depending on the aircraft, that's what they change it. It depends on the aircraft on how many missiles you can actually fire. Su-27SM, for example, MiG-29 SMT can fire 2. The APG-63 here of the F-15s can fire 8, for example. On the case of the F-16, for example, it can actually fire 6 of them. In the case of the J-11, which is it's pretty funny, but the new J-11A can only fire 1 at a single target, which is pretty funny. Let's see the J-8F, 6. That's the funniest thing ever. I mean, you can track 6 targets with a J-8F, but only 1 at a time with the J-11. But remember, again, this is for data link updates from the R-77, in this case, for example, to the aircraft. And also, if you fire 2, in this case, it means that the first one will lose its data link connection. It's kind of annoying for a Russian aircraft. For everybody else, it kind of doesn't matter. F-14s, F-16s are 6. F-8, like 15s, it's 8. So it's kind of not a problem for most aircraft. So we have new models for the pilots as well. It's something that I mentioned in the first video that I did today, but still, you can see right there, it's a new model. We can actually go to a a custom to actually properly take a look. Hold up. Here we have, for example, all the F-16s, F-14s, and F-15s, and Yak-141s, MiG-29s got a new model on the pilot, which looks very cool, as you see. Very cool. So this is the American one. The A-10s, I think, as well. Looks way more realistic and a lot better, right? Let's take a look on the Su-27. Here we have the Su-27 one, or the Russian one, which looks very cool, especially because look at the helmet. You can clearly see the helmet mounted sight over there. The standard Russian one, which is pretty cool. Like, look at this, guys. Very cool. The little monocle? I don't know how I pronounce that. But yeah, of the of the helmet mounted side, right? So very, very cool. The pilot itself, the clothes, everything, it's pretty good. I mean, he's holding in the wrong place, but it doesn't matter. And for the last one, now they actually added something very interesting over here for you to organize yourself a little bit. So, for example, let's grab a little bit of our, oh, do I have one that it's ready here? I do not. Hold up, combined battles. Yeah, here, for example. So, if I want to organize myself, I can right now with the crew slot. So, you can basically go down here, and you can change it up. So yeah, you can organize yourself. You click here, and then you organize on however you want the crews. This will make, for example, for you to leave the most amount of, you know, points to a certain side over here that you know that are the best, you know, crews, for example, like this on training or whatever. Or you want to, I don't know, for example, in the Russians, like I can normally do this. I have my own like army one over here. Let me just remember where they are. So for example, if I'm gonna, let me remove these ships. Hold up. I want to grab, I don't know, 2 tanks over here, and then let me just like do my normal loadout over here. Loadout, no, crew slots stuff. You know how it is, right? Normally I take a BMP as well because I love some BMP action. Oh, yeah, let's take the BMP. And then, for example, the helicopter that I always take, it's right here. So this is my normal loadout, but it's kind of all over the place. So for example, I can just put the tanks in one side. You know, I can do this. And then the jets and stuff to this side. So that way I can actually do it like this, for example, so that the tanks are right here and stuff. It's just more organized for me, right? Together with new UI, you know, UI icons and stuff, and with the ability to move around and, you know, grab other vehicles and change it up where you want them and just drag around and stuff. It is a very, very cool UI little addition. So yeah, but basically these are 8. There are more stuff, okay guys, but these are the most interesting ones that I found. I hope you enjoyed. Make sure to subscribe, and I see you guys on the next one. So bye guys, see ya.